In the northern reaches of Hungary, far from the bustling cities, lies a realm of ancient mystery and untamed beauty. These are the Bükk Mountains, a vast expanse of forest that feels like a world untouched by time. Here, towering beech and oak trees form a dense canopy, creating a cathedral of green that shelters a remarkable diversity of life. This is not just a collection of trees, it is a living, breathing ecosystem, a secret heart pumping with the rhythms of the seasons. It is a place where nature's grand drama unfolds each day, offering a profound connection to the wild spirit that still exists in the hidden corners of our world. For those who seek it, this forest offers a chance to witness the timeless cycles of survival and renewal. This wilderness is special because it remains largely undisturbed, allowing its inhabitants to live according to ancient patterns. The forest floor is a soft carpet of fallen leaves, muffling the footsteps of those who wander its paths. Creeks and streams fed by pure springs carve their way through the landscape, their clear waters providing life to everything they touch. The air itself feels different here, clean, crisp, and filled with the scent of damp earth and growing things. It is in this sanctuary that we can observe the intricate dance between predator and prey, the subtle changes in the light as it filters through the leaves, and the powerful, silent transformations that mark the passage of a year. The story of this forest is a story told in 4 distinct chapters, each one a season with its own unique character and challenges. From the deep, frozen silence of winter to the vibrant explosion of life in spring, from the sun-drenched abundance of summer to the melancholic beauty of autumn, the forest is in a constant state of flux. Every plant and every animal is perfectly adapted to this rhythm, their lives intricately woven into the fabric of the changing year. Following this cycle allows us to understand not just the forest itself, but the fundamental principles of life on our planet: resilience, adaptation, and the enduring power of nature to persist against all odds. Our journey will take us deep into this Hungarian wilderness to witness these seasonal transformations firsthand. We will meet the majestic hunters of the night, like the Eurasian eagle owl, and the tiny, jeweled birds that travel thousands of miles to nest here, such as the European bee-eater. We will uncover the secret lives of wildcats raising their young in the hollows of ancient trees and watch as insects with fantastic forms emerge to play their part in the ecosystem. This exploration is more than just a nature walk. It is an immersion into a world where every rustle of a leaf and every call of a bird tells a story of survival, struggle, and breathtaking beauty. When winter arrives in the Bükk Mountains, it descends like a soft white blanket, transforming the vibrant landscape into a world of stark and silent beauty. The once dense canopy of leaves is gone, leaving a translucent forest of bare branches that etch delicate patterns against a pale sky. The ground, covered in a deep layer of snow, conceals the bustling activity of seasons past. Life does not stop, but it slows down, entering a state of slumber and quiet endurance. The air grows sharp and cold, and the only sounds are the gentle sigh of the wind through the trees and the muffled crunch of snow under the paw of a lone survivor searching for a meal. This is the season of waiting, a time of profound stillness before the inevitable return of warmth and life. For the animals that remain, winter is the ultimate test of survival. The red deer and roe deer, their coats now thicker and greyer for camouflage and warmth, must dig through the snow with their hooves to find remnants of grass and fallen acorns. Every calorie is precious, and they move with a deliberate slowness to conserve energy. Smaller creatures like mice and voles navigate a hidden world in tunnels beneath the snow, safe from the piercing eyes of predators above, but always on the alert. The forest's ponds and brooks freeze over, their surfaces becoming plates of solid ice, forcing the creatures that depend on them to seek out the few springs that continue to flow through the harshest cold. Not all animals face the winter cold head-on. Many have retreated into a deep sleep. Badgers, while they do not truly hibernate, spend much of the winter curled up in their extensive underground sets, living off the fat reserves they diligently built up during the autumn. They may emerge on milder nights, but for the most part they wait out the worst of the cold in the dark and relative warmth of their earthen homes. Similarly, amphibians like frogs and salamanders have buried themselves in the mud or under piles of damp leaves, their body processes slowed to a near standstill in a state of suspended animation, patiently waiting for the signal to awaken. Yet even in the depths of this frozen world, there are hunters on the prowl. The Eurasian eagle owl, one of Europe's most formidable predators, is perfectly at home in the winter landscape. Its exceptional eyesight and silent flight make it a master of the winter night. From a high perch, it scans the moonlit snow for any sign of movement, ready to swoop down on an unsuspecting rabbit or rodent. The fox, with its thick red coat a splash of colour against the white, uses its keen sense of hearing to detect the faintest squeak from a mouse hidden deep beneath the snow, a testament to the fact that even in the quietest of seasons, the timeless drama of life and death continues unabated. As the days begin to lengthen and the sun gains a little more strength, the first signs of spring's arrival appear in the Bükk Mountains. The change begins subtly, with the slow, steady drip of melting snow from the tips of branches. What starts as a trickle soon becomes a torrent, and the frozen creeks and streams begin to break free from their icy prisons. The sound of running water returns to the forest, a gurgling, rushing melody that signals the end of winter's long silence. The air, once sharp with cold, now carries the sweet, earthy scent of damp soil and decaying leaves, the very smell of life reawakening. This is the great thaw, a period of transition where the world seems to be holding its breath, poised for the explosion of activity to come. Deep within the leaf litter on the forest floor, the first creatures to respond to this change are stirring. The European grass frogs, having spent the winter in a state of torpor, emerge from their muddy shelters. Driven by an ancient instinct, they make their way towards the newly thawed ponds and pools of meltwater. Here they gather in great numbers, their croaking calls filling the crisp spring air in a cacophony of excitement. The females lay their eggs in large, gelatinous clumps, which are remarkably resilient. Even if a late frost returns and the surface of the pond freezes over again, the precious eggs within remain protected, a testament to nature's incredible foresight. Following the frogs, another remarkable amphibian makes its appearance on cool, damp spring nights. This is the fire salamander, a creature of myth and legend with its striking pattern of brilliant yellow or orange on a glossy black body. According to folklore, they were born of fire, but in reality, they are creatures of the water. Unlike frogs, fire salamanders are ovoviviparous, meaning they give birth to live young. The female seeks out the cold, clear waters of a forest stream to deliver her larvae. As soon as they are born, these tiny, gilled creatures instinctively dart for cover under rocks and stones, beginning their aquatic life hidden from the dangers of the newly awakened forest. This reawakening is a critical time for the forest's larger inhabitants as well. The deer and wild boar find foraging much easier as the snow recedes, revealing the first tender green shoots pushing up through the soil. The melting snow also replenishes the water sources they depend on. For predators, the increasing activity of smaller animals means that hunting becomes a more fruitful endeavor after the lean months of winter. The entire forest seems to stretch and yawn, shaking off its slumber. Every drop of meltwater, every emerging amphibian, and every new green shoot is a small but vital part of a grand interconnected process that is turning the silent white world back into a vibrant living green one. As spring gains momentum in the Bükk Mountains, the air fills with the sound of birdsong. This is the season of return and renewal, when migratory birds, having spent the winter in warmer climates, journey thousands of miles back to their ancestral breeding grounds. Among the most dazzling of these arrivals are the European bee-eaters. They appear in May, like flying jewels with their brilliant plumage of turquoise, yellow, and chestnut. These birds are specialists, masters of catching flying insects in mid-air. After their long journey, they immediately set to work, cleaning out nesting cavities in sandy cliffs and riverbanks, their cheerful, liquid calls becoming a signature sound of the Hungarian spring. The forest's resident birds are also busy. High on the rocky walls of abandoned quarries, a pair of Eurasian eagle owls, the mightiest owls in Europe, are already raising their young. The female, significantly larger than her mate, has been brooding her eggs since late winter. Now fluffy white owlets have hatched, and their demands for food are incessant. The male is a tireless hunter, bringing back rabbits, rodents, and other prey to the nest to feed his growing family. The owlets grow quickly, their downy feathers slowly being replaced by the mottled brown plumage of an adult. Their fierce orange eyes watch the world from their high ledge, learning the ways of the predator. The trees themselves become a hub of nesting activity. The powerful blows of the black woodpecker, Europe's largest, echo through the forest as it carves out a new nesting cavity in a dead or dying beech tree. Its work is vital not just for itself, but for other species as well. Once a black woodpecker has raised its young and moved on, its abandoned nest becomes a highly sought-after home for other birds, such as the stock dove. Elsewhere, in the smaller nooks and crannies of the trees, great tits and hawfinches meticulously build their own nests from moss, twigs, and feathers, each pair working to ensure the survival of their own lineage in the bustling springtime forest. Even the falcons have returned to reclaim their territories. The peregrine falcon, a species that had once vanished from this region, has made a remarkable comeback. These incredible birds of prey, the fastest animals on the planet, nest on high, inaccessible cliffs. Their return signals a healthy and balanced ecosystem. Conservationists sometimes visit these nests to place identification bands on the legs of the young fledglings. This allows them to track the birds' movements after they leave the nest, providing invaluable information about their survival rates and migration patterns, and helping to ensure that the triumphant return of these magnificent raptors is a permanent one. By the time June arrives, the Bükk Mountains are fully transformed. Summer has taken hold and the forest is at the peak of its glory. The canopy is a thick, unbroken ceiling of brilliant green leaves, so dense that only dappled shafts of sunlight reach the forest floor. The air is warm and humid, often filled with a mystical haze after a summer rain shower, giving the woods an enchanted, timeless quality. This is a season of abundance, of explosive growth and relentless activity. Every plant is reaching for the sun, and every animal is taking advantage of the plentiful food and long daylight hours. The quiet stillness of winter is now a distant memory, replaced by a constant hum of life. The stars of the summer season are often the insects which emerge in astonishing numbers and varieties. On the decaying trunks of old beech and hornbeam trees, one can find the magnificent alpine longhorn beetle, the heraldic animal of the national park. With its long, elegant antennae and striking black and grey pattern, it is a true gem of the forest. Males can be seen fiercely defending their territory on a log, waiting for a female to arrive. Another giant of the insect world, the European stag beetle, also makes its appearance. The males, with their enormous antler-like mandibles, engage in dramatic wrestling matches for the right to mate, a miniature spectacle of strength and determination playing out on the forest floor. The life cycles of these insects are a story of incredible patience. The larvae of the alpine longhorn beetle spend 2 to 4 years developing deep inside the wood of a decaying tree, slowly munching their way through the timber. The stag beetle larva spends even longer, up to 5 years, underground among the roots of old trees. After all this time spent growing, the adult beetle's life is fleeting, lasting only a few short weeks in the summer. Their brief time in the sun is dedicated entirely to a single purpose: finding a mate and ensuring the next generation will continue the cycle, a remarkable strategy of long preparation for a short but vital final act. The abundance of insects provides a feast for many of the forest's other inhabitants. The bee-eaters are in their element, swooping and diving through the air to snatch bees, wasps, and dragonflies on the wing. The forest bats emerge at dusk to join the hunt, using their echolocation to navigate the darkening woods and home in on moths and other nocturnal insects. Even on the ground, life is teeming. The rich vegetation provides endless grazing for deer, while the proliferation of small rodents, feasting on seeds and berries, ensures that predators like foxes and wildcats have plenty of food to support their own growing families during this bountiful season. Summer is not just a time of feasting, it is the season for raising families. Deep within the forest, hidden from prying eyes, a new generation of predators is taking its first steps into the world. In the hollow of an old gnarled tree, a European wildcat has given birth to a litter of kittens. They are shy, elusive creatures, far wilder than their domestic cousins. As dusk falls, the mother leaves her young safely tucked away in their den and slips silently into the twilight. She is a master hunter, and she will spend the night patrolling the nearby fields and forest edges, searching for the common voles and mice that will feed her hungry kittens. The kittens themselves are full of curiosity. As they grow bigger and bolder, they begin to emerge from their den in the fading light. They play and wrestle near the base of their nursery tree, their mock battles helping to hone the reflexes and skills they will one day need to survive on their own. Their mother is always watchful, teaching them through her own example. She will bring back live prey for them to practice on, showing them how to deliver a killing bite. These are crucial lessons passed down from mother to child, ensuring that the secret lineage of the forest's wildcats continues through another generation. In another part of the forest, a vixen is also busy tending to her cubs. Her den is often a cleverly chosen burrow, perhaps dug into a sunny bank or under the roots of a fallen tree. The fox cubs, with their fluffy coats and playful antics, are a delight to watch. The vixen is a devoted mother, constantly hunting to provide for her family. As the cubs grow, she begins to lead them on their first excursions away from the den, introducing them to the sights, sounds, and smells of their territory. She teaches them how to find beetles, catch frogs, and listen for the rustle of a mouse in the grass. The skies above are also a classroom for the young. The peregrine falcon fledglings, now fully feathered, have left the nest but are still dependent on their parents. They can be seen practicing their flying skills, chasing each other through the air and making clumsy attempts to hunt. Their parents continue to bring them food, sometimes engaging in dramatic mid-air food passes where prey is dropped for the youngster to catch. This training is essential, for soon they will have to fend for themselves. Every chase, every dive, and every meal is a step towards independence, preparing them for the solitary life of a master aerial hunter. As summer's heat begins to fade, a change comes over the Bükk Mountains. The first signs of autumn arrive in September, not with a sudden shift, but as a gentle, gradual transition. The deep, uniform green of the forest canopy starts to show hints of yellow and gold at the edges. The sun hangs lower in the sky, casting long shadows and bathing the landscape in a soft, warm light. There is a sense of melancholy in the air, a beautiful sadness that reminds us of the inevitable turning of the great wheel of life. This is the season of harvest and departure, a time of spectacular beauty before the quiet and cold of winter returns. The forest puts on its most breathtaking display of the year. The beech trees, which dominate this landscape, turn from green to brilliant shades of yellow, orange, and fiery copper. The oaks add their own tones of russet and deep brown. For a few weeks, the hillsides are ablaze with colour, a riot of colours that stands in stark contrast to the coming austerity of winter. Walking through the forest during this time is like stepping into a painting. The leaves, having served their purpose of capturing sunlight all summer long, now drift slowly down, carpeting the ground in a thick, crunchy layer of gold and red. This season brings forth its own unique creatures. In the long grasses of the meadows, the European mantis appears. This fascinating insect, with its prayer-like posture, is a patient and deadly predator. They are masters of camouflage, blending in perfectly with the fading green and brown vegetation as they wait for an unsuspecting insect to wander too close. Autumn is their mating season, a time for a strange and sometimes brutal ritual. The female, often larger than the male, may sometimes consume her partner after mating. This act, while seemingly cruel, provides her with a vital boost of energy needed to produce and lay her precious egg case, which will protect the next generation through the harsh winter. The mood of the forest is one of quiet reflection and preparation. The vibrant chorus of birdsong that filled the spring and summer air has faded. The bee-eaters and other migratory birds have gathered in large flocks, their restless calls signaling their imminent departure. They have feasted on the last of the summer's insects and are now ready to begin their long and perilous journey south to their wintering grounds in Africa. Their absence leaves a noticeable silence in the forest, a quiet space that will not be filled again until the return of spring. It is a poignant reminder that all life is a cycle of comings and goings. For the animals that will remain in the Bükk Mountains, autumn is a critical and urgent period of preparation. The colourful display of leaves is a beautiful but stark reminder that the season of plenty is ending, and the lean months of winter are fast approaching. Every creature is driven by a powerful instinct to ready itself for the cold and scarcity to come. This is a race against time, a final flurry of activity before the snows arrive and the forest once again falls into its deep slumber. Survival through the winter depends entirely on the work that is done during these fleeting autumn days. The European badger is a perfect example of this diligent preparation. Although it does not enter a true, deep hibernation, its activity slows dramatically in winter. To survive this period of rest, it must build up significant fat reserves. During autumn, badgers are consumed by a single-purpose eating. They forage relentlessly for earthworms, insects, berries, nuts, and roots, anything that will add another layer of fat to their bodies. They also spend time cleaning out their setts, the complex underground tunnel systems where they will spend the winter, ensuring their shelter is dry and secure for the long, cold nights ahead. The deer and wild boar also change their behavior. The end of summer is marked by the rutting season, when bucks and stags compete for the right to mate, their powerful calls echoing through the valleys. Once this intense period is over, their focus shifts entirely to feeding. They must consume as many acorns, beech nuts, and other high-energy foods as possible to build up the fat and muscle that will sustain them when fresh vegetation is buried under snow. Their coats grow thicker and darker, providing better insulation and camouflage for the monochrome landscape of winter. Their very bodies are transforming in anticipation of the coming hardship. Even the smallest creatures are busy. Squirrels and jays work tirelessly to collect and store nuts and acorns, a behavior known as caching. They bury their treasures in hundreds of different locations throughout their territory, creating a winter larder. Their remarkable spatial memory allows them to retrieve these caches months later, even from beneath a blanket of snow. Not all caches are rediscovered, however, and the forgotten acorns and nuts often sprout the following spring, making these animals unwitting but essential gardeners for the forest. Their frantic autumn work is not just an act of self-preservation, but a vital contribution to the forest's own renewal. Our journey through the seasons of the Hungarian wilderness has shown us a world of constant change and incredible strength. We've seen the quiet toughness of winter, the bursting joy of spring, the rich plenty of summer, and the touching beauty of autumn. We've watched how every creature, from the mighty eagle owl to the tiny beetle, plays a part in this amazing web of life. Their lives tell a story of how they adapt, finding ways to deal with the challenges each season brings. The forest itself isn't just a background for this drama. It's alive, giving food, shelter, and the rhythm that guides all life within it. This wilderness, like others around the world, is more than just a bunch of plants and animals. It's a place where nature keeps its balance and a library of old wisdom. The return of the peregrine falcon reminds us that nature can get better if we give it a chance. The slow life of the stag beetle teaches us about the quiet, hidden things that keep the ecosystem healthy. Watching these cycles helps us understand our own place in nature. In the quiet of the forest, away from the noise and demands of our busy lives, we can connect with something really important, something that speaks to who we truly are and our shared history on this planet. Looking after these wild places isn't just about saving animals or keeping pretty views. It's about keeping our whole planet healthy. Forests like this one are like the Earth's lungs, making the oxygen we breathe and helping to control our weather. Their complicated root systems hold the soil in place, stopping it from washing away and cleaning the water that flows into our rivers. The variety of life they hold is a treasure chest of genetic information, which might hold the secrets to future medicines and new discoveries. When we protect a forest, we're really protecting ourselves and making sure there's a healthier future for generations to come. The story of the seasons in the Bükk Mountains is a story of a never-ending circle, a constant rhythm of dying and being born again, of struggle and survival. It's a powerful reminder that we are part of this circle, not separate from it. The beauty and complexity of this Hungarian wilderness are both an inspiration and a warning. They show us what we could lose if we don't look after the natural world responsibly. By valuing and protecting these last wild places, we make sure that the chorus of frogs in spring, the flash of a bee-eater's wing in summer, and the golden glow of an autumn afternoon will keep gracing our world forever.